on a school board.
Yes.
I was endorsed recently by the local gay rights group, and immediately the conservative activists come out calling me a groomer. So I need, our deadline for fundraising is June 8th.
Okay.
If anybody can help me out, go to mooksforkarl.com. We're trying to get to 200 contributions before that deadline to help me fight back against this kind of baloney.
Yes. And
so,
by the way, thank you. And we were just saying, this has been the gayest hour of radio ever. To celebrate the beginning of Pride Month. We're like Rudolph's nose. I mean, we'll put like something over it for the next couple hours. Allison Gill will join us in hour 3. She's straight.
We'll put a rainbow ball on the end of his nose.
We're just busting out all over. It's day one of Pride, and so here we are.
She's not unfamiliar with the Target Pride section.
That is true. This is true.
Definitely.
Exactly. Can I just say, our friend Bob Seska, we mentioned this yesterday, Karl, but he tweeted, Pride Month has been a thing for 50 years. It's not easy to miss. Weird how Republicans are suddenly crapping their cages over it as if it's brand new. Either they're slow on the uptake or the Red Hat Entertainment Complex specifically chose to monetize the outrage this year. I mean, this is what I mean. Why? Why now, right?
A little bit of column A and column B, because it reinforces the narrative they've been pushing around schools. Really what this comes down to is they don't want their kids to be gay.
Right.
And they don't have any control over that. Their kids are going to be gay if their kids are gay. Their kids are going to be trans if their kids are trans. And there's nothing they can do about that. But they think that it's the culture that's doing it to them. And that's just a lie. It's been a lie for eternity.
Yeah. This story I was talking about, Hernando County, Florida, Gulf Coast area just north of Tampa Bay, is not known for being a liberal place, hasn't backed a Democrat for president in over 2 decades. DeSantis carried the county by over 40 points last year, but parents and teachers there have had enough of the far-right culture war against LGBTQ people and demanded an end to the campaign of intimidation in their local schools at a contentious school board meeting this week. They also, Karl, happen to have picked an issue that the American people are hugely on our side about. You know, the marriage equality ship sailed a long time ago. Somebody called yesterday. I happened to be in D.C. when it passed, and I do remember the, rainbow
elation
on the White House, and just, exactly. Elation is the word, right? But anyway, I just thought like that. But at that point, I don't know what it's at now, but it's just, why are they picking this issue now? I mean, it's, I just think most normal people are don't agree with them.
They're not looking for most normal people. They're looking for base motivation.
Yeah.
And, if they were actually looking to appeal to the broad center of the country, they would support marriage equality. They would support non-discrimination. They would support the conservative Supreme Court's support for trans people.
Yeah.
Don't forget, it's this conservative court that said trans people are protected by federal anti-discrimination laws on gender.
Yeah.
So, they're on the wrong side of history here, but they're hoping that it can win them an election or two.
What's the word politically? Evolved. For instance, when marriage equality, when I was in D.C., when that passed, ironically, I was with someone that wasn't out then. But I've evolved.
Yes, you have.
That's right.
But it's been a politically, as they always say, it's been an issue that I think has evolved so much more quickly than I never thought marriage equality would be here in my lifetime back, in the day. But I think it's because more and more people go, it's your school board member, it's your favorite radio host, it's your, favorite baseball player, country singer, you name it, right? That
it's your favorite radio show producers.
There you go.
Yes.
Exactly.
and I would say on top of that, look, we know what it was like in the 80s and the 90s to be gay and or closeted. And what the culture was like, and how much lesbian, gay, and bisexual people featured prominently in the right-wing fear machine. And they lost that battle, and they've immediately gone, not that they never did before, but they've certainly amped up their attacks on transgender people and gender nonconforming people because they see that as an avenue that works for them in the same way that the attacks of decades gone by around lesbian, gay, and bisexual people work. And unfortunately, it's a losing battle for them. But they're not concerned about losing battles. They really just want to win the next election. They're not planning for the future. They're just planning for the next election.
Don't you feel
but
like,
I think this is going to have diminishing return for them.
Don't you feel like we're back at the John Kerry election where they're, the cake with the 2 grooms on it? Like, oh my God. It's like it just, when that kind of fear-mongering worked. But I feel like, look at Kevin McCarthy. Put on your political strategist hat for a minute. How dumb do you have to be politically to come out after this budget deal and go, yep, we are going to cut Social Security and Medicare. We just couldn't get to it this time. I mean, it's not politically popular at all. Yeah, go ahead.
No, but it does appeal to their funders on Wall Street and others, and it certainly appeals to a certain piece of their electorate. Until they find out that they rely on Social Security and Medicare in their retirement. Look, hopefully we never get to that point, but we need to educate the electorate broadly that this is what they're up to and this is what their plan is.
Yeah, well, this is him trying to placate his lunatic far-right caucus right after this budget deal that, they all are screaming about.
The majority driver of the budget is mandatory spending. It's Medicare, Social Security, interest on the debt. So you only have 11% to look at this budget. But we were able to increase our defense to protect us, take care of our veterans. But you know that non-defense with veterans out, we are now going to spend less than we spent in 2022. That's a major victory.
Carly,
here's his.
Go ahead.
Yeah, big lie here. He said that our biggest expense is this non-discretionary money on Social Security. Let's be clear here. People pay for their Social Security, period. Yeah. They give money specifically for Social Security. So when he says he wants to cut it, he's talking about wasting the money that people have put aside for their futures and for the futures of other people who are retiring before them.
Yeah, and I think that's the problem. It's such a simple concept. People realize their entitlements because they're entitled to it because they paid into it for their entire lives. It's their money. It's not Kevin McCarthy's,
Right.
So, Carl, I think, as a political, again, in your political hat, I don't know how I get that some on the left aren't happy either with this, but it's just, how do you govern with people that are not interested in governing? I just think have to. Yeah,
you don't. You do what we saw here, right? You see, and I don't think any of us are happy with everything in this deal. But this is what happens when the country's taken hostage. You do what you can to save it. And this is how you govern, right? You find people who are willing to come along as far as you can get them. And hopefully the American people are watching this and they understand that the reason we went to the brink in the first place, the reason that these other cuts have happened is because of a Republican majority who is willing to flush it all down the toilet if they don't get their way.
Yeah. I don't know how. I'm not an expert on these things, but we just got to take this away as a bargaining, that we should just never be bargaining over the debt ceiling.
The next time Democrats have control of the House and Senate, they need to permanently do away with this.
Yeah. Because I think, that's the thing. As you say, I'm sure there's going to be people on both sides that don't like everything. The fact is that you're right. It should never have happened. And we're going to come disastrously close to the deadline, right? Monday. And I think if people don't understand, we keep talking. It's not, yes, it's never happened before as we sort of talk about it. But, Carl, it's not hyperbole